everybody. Welcome to Shoulder Tap. Here is the aforementioned dog. Yep, that James mentioned. He's a good boy for all the pug people down out there. All right, go lie in the sun.
What's his name, Jack?
His name is Rodney, as a matter of fact. All
We can get
right.
a we need to get a graphic of Rodney with some sunglasses on that we can we can lay over
I'm
the screen for the production, something like that.
sure we could find that at some point. I have a number of them. Welcome to Shoulder Tap. This is where we give the shoulder taps to those that have been very bad, and we give the shout outs to those that have been very good. Ben, it's the roll. It's Friday. What do the boards look like so far?
Pretty good. I would say a little bit better than what we've seen. I've been telling you all week, Jack. It's just a mixed bag. Lots of big red. A handful of green as well. More green than red today, which is nice. I'm not sure exactly why that is. There's also just less trading activity. People maybe, it finally feels like summer here in Texas. People probably taking off. There's a reason that the summertime is known for less trading volume, less volatility in the markets. People take summer vacations, so there may be some of that in our live traders as well. I'm calling it early, but generally speaking, pretty good to see. We'll give some quick shout outs. Dakota's up a cool 5,100. Saw that a little birdie told me that he took a $18,000 payout as well, which we love to see. Shout outs to you, Dakota, paying yourself big and paying yourself often. That's awesome. Nick for a tick, also up $3,500. Nice Friday for him. Who else?
Way to lock that
Rumiko.
in. We saw Dakota make that trade live. He was getting short the Nas.
Short in the Nasdaq. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Glad the short side. I know he was kind of beating his head a little bit for being short. I believe that was last week. So, great traders find a way to dial that in. He's well out of the drawdown he was in and in profit, and taking payouts again. So, fantastic trading from Dakota. Donald up $4,900 as well, and Felipe up 3,800. So we've got some solid winners on the board today, which is nice to see. You never want to have a big red day on Friday going into the weekend. That sucks. So yeah,
No,
lots
it
of
does.
positive stuff there, and we can jump into some trading cards, and we've also got some people who have elected to be roasted that we can talk about as well. So we'll start moving through it. If we can get
Cool.
the
Let's do
trading
it.
card for Christian. I believe Christian is how you would pronounce it. Forgive me if I'm butchering that. Christian's from the Netherlands, trading with us, one of our Dutch traders. Love seeing that. Love that we're all over the world. Christian is getting called up to a live account, trading in a 100K account, 100K XFA that's being called up to live. So really good trading that we've seen from Christian so far. 83% winning days and a big average daily P&L. I know probably where your mind's gone already, Jack. Looking at this, only have 12 trading days that we're looking at. So with that type of data set, you've got to take the winning percentages, the risk reward profile, take that with a bit of a grain of salt over time, as you approach 30, 40, 60, 90 trading days completed, those will kind of reach an equilibrium. But right now they look really good, and we wanted to put Christian in a live account. I love Christian's story. He's been with us since 2018. So been with us almost exactly 6 years, 6 years and 2 days to be specific. Christian's been in a couple of funded level accounts before with us, all at the sim level. I know previously we had different account types before we moved to one step, one rule in our express funded account, but funded pro account here and there. The very first funded account they got, lost it within 2 days, I believe. Moved into got another funded level account, took some money out of that account as well. So they've been steadily progressing over the last 6 years in our program at Topstep, which is awesome. And maybe most importantly, not spending a tremendous amount of money over time doing that. Truly treating it like an experiential learning platform and process. They've only had 57 accounts with us over the last 6 years. That includes practice accounts, of which there were 4 or 5, I believe. So there are some traders that have had 57 accounts so far this year, or more, certainly. So food for thought. take it one account at a time. We talked about that yesterday. We're going to continue to talk about it. There's no need to purchase a ton of accounts and just rip and tear. It's counterproductive. You're spending money to do it. Versus Christian, who over several years has been playing the long game, trading well, and is now getting called up to a live funded account for the very first time at Topstep. So kudos to you, Christian, if you're happen to be listening. We've seen some great trading from you. Trading the big four, our four most popular products, the S&P 500, NASDAQ, both E-minis, crude oil, and gold. Trading
Yeah.
well, only taking about half-hour trades, half-hour hold time on the winner, and 12 minutes on the losers. So pretty much everything here looks good. Already taking $3,200 in payouts from the XFA. Not trading a ton, 5 trades a day, averaging 3 lots per trade, and really solid risk-reward ratio when you consider that winning trade percentage. Again, have to understand that that's going to balance out over time. But right now, it looks great. They're really putting a lot of money together in this XFA. They're going to have $23,000 that's getting transferred to the live account. So plenty of room to operate. And really, that's I think, going to be the recipe going forward is just protect the live account. Now that you've gotten it, now that you're here, we don't want to see jitters or any kind of erratic or different trading behavior than what we've seen in the XFA. Now you just need to trade from a risk-first perspective. I watched a little bit of slow markets last night. I heard Dakota talking about that. And I think Christian is a great example of that. Dakota, there's I don't know if he came up with it, but I heard it first from John Carter. He talks about eating like an elephant and crapping like a bird. That's how you want to trade. You want to take the most out when you're eating and give as little back as possible. So something to keep in mind, and that's what we've seen from Christian so far. We're definitely going to be reaching out to him directly if we see a different pattern of behavior in this live account. But for now, it's time to celebrate. It's a Feel Good Friday. Christian's moving to a live account for the first time after being with Topstep for 6 years. So kudos to you again. And Jack, anything that stood out to you outside of the feel good nature of this trading card?
No, it's a feel good card. Out of the 12 days, just 2 losing days, and those 2 days were both daily loss. However, 5 winning days of the 12 were greater than $2,000. Sometimes much greater. So some $5,000 winner, nearly an $11,000 winner. That's definitely, as long as you can do that, that's sustainable. Like 2K, given what his numbers are on this card, 2K is perfectly reasonable to lose. Good luck at the funded level, man. I think you'll do great.
Do great things. Yeah, we can keep it moving. We'll move on to a less exciting story. Something I really think is a case study. If we could pull up the card for Konstantinos. Konstantinos is one of our live funded traders. Actually lost his live funded account this morning. Very, very interesting as I was digging into the details of this trade report and the account history.
I can see it.
Really everything that's on the user profile. Yeah, it's something I know a lot of traders have gone through, and we're going to dig into it. So Konstantinos originally, we're going to take a step back and actually go back to the XFA that was called up to live, that this created this live account. In that XFA, that original XFA, Konstantinos had 100% winning day percentage, 12 trading days to go off of. So trading very well, not taking any losing days, and making a lot of money. That catches the attention of the risk team for obvious reasons. And as long as we see healthy habits and not true just firing from the hip gambling style behaviors, we want to move you to a live account relatively quickly. So 100% on 12 winning days in the XFA that was transferred. The first 3 days in this live funded account for Konstantinos were also winning days. So racked up 15 winning trading days in a row between the XFA and the live account. And then between yesterday and today have blown that account up. And it's really interesting. You're going to notice there's not a tremendous amount of statistics on here because they're not particularly important. If you're looking at that trade report, Jack, for this live account, everything looks normal. Again, total normal trading, profitable trading, 100% win rates, only taking 1 trade a day. 3 days traded the first 3 days, one trade per day, 100% win rate. And then you get to yesterday, starting at yesterday, 49 trades taken,
Hmm.
110 total contracts. So my first thought was something probably happened. You know, life is crazy. Things happen in our lives. We get distracted. Whatever that trigger may have been that sent Konstantinos on tilt is the only real word for it. That's a very commonly used name. You're seeing red. Uh, just completely unable to put on a winning trade. Konstantinos actually had 42 losing trades in a row. So that is clearly a deviation from what we've seen thus far. And if you have a trading day like that, generally speaking, we want to see you take some time off. It's really important to just, especially if the next day is a Friday, like the case was for Konstantinos. Going into a Friday after having a big losing day like that, hitting your daily loss limit, it's going to be really difficult to look at the markets objectively and put on winning trades. And Constantino struggled with that, taking out the remainder of what account balance he had left this morning. So, it's difficult to say, again, without knowing exactly what was happening in Constantino's life, happening in that day. It's important to go back and do what I would call an emotional autopsy, right? Look at what you were thinking about the day before. Were you focused on making a lot of money? Were you focused on, I'm in a good spot, I just breached a new level that I hadn't before in my trading, I need to protect this, I'm trading out of fear? And you take some losses and then you start chasing those losses to get that back. There's a lot of different ways that snowball can get started down the hill. But once you've got to have some rules in place. I'm big on like hard and fast rules, whether that's, I'm not going to take more than 5 trades in a day, I'm not going to lose more than $1,200 in a day, I'm not going to lose more than 5 trades in a row. Some type of hard and fast rule that's very simple that you can remain disciplined about is the only real way to protect yourself from things like this, because it happens to the best of us. Again, Konstantinos, from a win rate perspective, was on a heater that few people reach in trading. Winning 15 days in a row like that, taking a lot of money out of the markets, to then give it all back in 2 days is really brutal. So you've got to do some introspection. What was going on in your life? What was going on in your head? And try and implement some rules going forward that can help you prevent things like that from happening in the future. So don't want to beat up on Konstantinos too much. I feel terrible that this happened to him. Ultimately he was the one clicking the mouse, but obviously there was something greater going on here. Jack, I'm curious if you've had a day or a series of days that happen like this, where you give up, all the great progress from the past couple weeks, and what your thoughts are on how to get yourself out of that or get back on the horse eventually, once it's time.
I've definitely gone through some pretty tilted trades and lost way more than I wanted to. As you mentioned, it's a little bit of unusual. I'm just seeing the card for the live account portion. It does stand out that it's just one contract for one trade for the first 3 days, and then um, all that activity. So yeah, it's hard to Sometimes we look at these. Always, we're looking at these cards. Generally, we don't know the person unless we're talking about Dakota or Ben. You know more because you talk to people. So I can't say. I hope everything's going okay at Constantinos. I don't, it's a live account, so I don't think it's someone who was trying to build it up and then just like send it right when they couldn't
Yeah.
trade enough contracts or something. So yeah, whatever caused that, you got to take some time off. But as they were saying yesterday, right? The markets are always there. This is never going to be like the last day of trading, and there's always going to be a million more opportunities. Um, and it's okay to hang it up for a while, forever. I mean, we're all adults, and those are all options that you can make with whatever's best for you. So
Yeah.
good luck, my man. Get through it.
Yeah, I'm really big. The more traders that I've talked to, the more that I've had a lot of experience trading myself, trying, being in drawdown, trying to get out of that. I think it's really, really important to forgive yourself. I think if you haven't fully forgiven yourself for a bad day, a bad week, whatever it is. And sometimes, like you're saying, it hanging it up entirely is an option. I don't view Constantinos probably as falling into that category. That's one of the benefits of being in a prop firm is, you are not losing your own money when you take those losses. So it is easier to get back on the horse. It is easier to ultimately forgive yourself. But if you jump right back in, if he's in a trading combine on Monday, the idea that this event isn't going to bleed into that trading is pretty unrealistic. So take some time, find some peace, spend time with family, spend time, doing things that are important to you, and forgive yourself, and then get back on the horse. That's what I would recommend. Doing anything, getting back into trading before you've done those things is counterproductive, and kind of a waste of money in my estimation. But yeah, wanted to share that on Shoulder Tap. We share the good, the bad, and the ugly. So pretty brutal loss of the live account for Konstantinos, but we'll see him back, I'm sure, and looking forward to the comeback story.
Yeah.
So that's where we'll leave it if you don't have anything else, Jack.
Yeah, just checking in. We made a push there towards the highs, not quite to the all-time highs. The Nasdaq's come back in a little bit. Looks like things are moving. Be careful again. It's Friday. It's roll, etc. All right. With that, Ben, what are we
All
doing
right.
next?
Yeah, let's move into roast my trade. So if you're just joining us, if you're not familiar with this segment, on Fridays we have a form earlier in the week actually that we send out for submission requests, or we ask traders like, hey, if you want to be roasted, if you want us to look at your trade reports and point out all of the bad behaviors that we can find and do it in a comical way, you can submit. So important to remember that everyone we're going to be talking about is has volunteered for this. We are not just picking accounts and going as hard as we can, but we are going to do it with a little bit of fire, a little bit of flame, and try to have some fun talking about the bad things. And ultimately, at the end of each of these cards, try to give a piece of advice going forward for ways that you can improve. So with that disclaimer, so that people don't think we're
Being
mean
assholes, yeah.
spirited, yeah, then we can go forward. Let's get our first roast card up. I believe it's for Diana Z. If we can look at that card for Diana. So for Diana's trading, the risk, when I was looking at the stats, similar to how I do for our normal trading cards, the risk reward and win rate relationship is quite literally a one step forward, two step back formula. So only 50% of the trades are winning trades, but the losses are 2x the winners. So every time you're flipping a coin, and every time you're getting tails, you lose twice as much as you win. We need to flip that on its head. I know that's a difficult prospect, but tells me that either the strategy is probably just not very good, or you're taking trades outside of whatever your setup and your formula is, and you need to eliminate those. So
Yeah.
need to work on that aspect. Holding losers 4 times as long as winners is also not good. That smells like hopium to me. You're getting in a trade and just hoping that it works out, and then having to close for a loss greater than what you expected or wanted. So fix that as well. Only significant winners. There's a lot of products here traded. 6 products, but the only significant winners or losers are coming out of the Nasdaq and the micro Nasdaq. So I think narrowing your focus to either one particular ticker or one particular setup is going to be helpful. I think I'm being generous if I'm assuming that there's one or several concrete setups that are being implemented here, but it's difficult to have several setups that you are trading on several different tickers in several different markets. That's a hard prospect, no matter who you are, even if you're the sharpest professional trader. You got to have a niche, you got to have a specialty. So narrow the focus a little bit. I think that'll help us get back on track, Diana. What do you have for this one?
Okay, yeah, we'll give a few roasts. I actually looked at the trade reports in advance, so we'll have some actual things thrown in here. So here's where we just give a few roasts on it. We'll see. Maybe it's not my best work, but here we go. All right, I know 9 days in this account. On June 11th, 50 trades for a total of 714 contracts to make $10. This trade report finally answers the question: what if someone tried to trade like Jackson Pollock paints while also continuing to drink like Jackson Pollock drank? Also, you mentioned the hold times. I wanted to point out that Diana has hold times shorter than a weird kid at a seventh grade dance. Slow down, Diana. We talk a lot about A and B setups, but we're switching the Mandarin to have enough symbols to represent these shitty entries you're taking. Take a deep breath, take a beta blocker, and take fewer than 50 trades in a day, maybe to start. We'll go from there.
Recommending
That's all I
beta
got for
blockers.
Diana.
Right. All right, let's move on. Next card we have is for Sheol A. This one was pretty rough. So between the selection for I have to go through. Some of these are more roast worthy than others, but in selecting this trader in this account to be presented today and featured, between the selection yesterday and actually appearing today, they've already reset the account. So boom, roasted. You took the max loss for the first 2 days in the account. You can't do that. Probably the worst aspect was yesterday they took 21 trades in less than 21 minutes and took 20 losers in a row. So, you
That's
could just set a $50 bill on fire and you'd probably been better off. Uh, 23 active accounts, all of which are trading combines. There are no funded level accounts. Clearly, you're just not valuing the accounts that you have. We talked about that in one of our cards. Christian has proven that they value each purchase of a trading combine very highly. So
mhm.
that's the direction we need to steer towards. Prove you can be profitable in one account before you purchase, 20 trading combines. Ultimately, Vegas is going to have better odds for you if you're trying to just spend money
Oh,
in that fashion.
100%. Uh, Chael, so like I thought that this was going to be last. So I only had um, one remark for Chael, but okay, we'll see if it's. Remember, this show it's marked not for kids, so we'll go with that. All right. So Chael flamed out of this 150K combine in 2 days. On the first day, he made 144 trades to lose $3,151.32. My friend, nobody should work that hard to lose $3,000. The only time that you should see receipts for 144 transactions of negative $20 in a single day is in the garbage can next to a strip club ATM. Once again, you'll notice a trend here. Slow the F down. It's not a race. You'll be fine, but not if you trade like this, bro. Boom, you are roasted.
Indeed. I think we got one more if we can squeeze it in. If we can pull up the card for Riz M.
Riz,
Um, the Riz, not to be confused with our team member Robert. Um,
the Rizzler.
so the Rizzler, Riz of the wrong variety here. Spent more in commissions than the current P&L in the account since creation. That's pretty tough. Trading hundreds of micros a day. Honestly, I didn't do the math. It's a whole lot of math, but if you flip to the minis instead of micros, you probably would have saved enough in commissions to have spent less in commissions than your P&L currently. Um, Made really considerable profits the first 3 days and then gave it all back on the fourth day. I really like, honestly, this trader isn't super far off from being a consistently profitable trader. You just got to, not lose your head once you're actually up money on the account. There's a whole lot of treading water going on over the 11 days we've been in this account. So what do you got, Jack?
All right. We know Robert the Riz, Cody. I realized, so I did look on Urban Dictionary for the definition of Riz, and I realized now that I just typed in this person's name. So it wasn't big. I guess Riz, like the Rizzler, is two Z's. But nonetheless, the most upvoted Urban Dictionary post for Riz with one Z, which is still talking about Riz, it says, a guy who is cool but liked by everybody. The dude's dude. Sexiest man alive. Talented in every way, though he doesn't realize it. Okay. Riz, I sincerely hope this describes you, but in order for you to be talented in every way, you're going to need to stop trading futures, bro. because right now you're trading like someone who wants to go best 2 of 3 in a game of Russian roulette. I felt strangely compelled to listen to that Sarah McLachlan "Arms of an Angel" song while looking at this report because you were straight up abusing futures contracts. So take the DLL as a suggestion rather than a requirement, and just don't do what you're doing, Riz. Be Riz with 2 Z's. Get back at him.
Yeah, one more Z ought to do it. That'll get us turned around, I think.
Exactly.
Well,
It's
it's been fun, Jack. I
been
enjoy these
real.
on Friday.
It's been real. Well, some other Friday. Can't guarantee every week because we got to think about these. And yeah, but you can't put your name on the list if you want to get roasted. So, with that, stick around because we got group coaching coming up next with our Riz, Coach Robert. I believe JD is with him as well. Then Anne Marie joining for the 1 o'clock segment, little strategy lab. And then we'll close out Friday strong with Power Hour. You're watching Top Step TV. We'll be back Riz after this. Goodbye.